find out about who the newest card is to enter into Marvel Snap and see if the reward for the high voltage is truly worth the agony. Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So right now we have the brand new mode up and running in the Marvel game, which is high voltage. And if you do well enough in high voltage, you can actually get a brand new card. And that brand new card is going to be Agony. Agony was a mercenary who worked for the Life Foundation. She would be in charge of the defenses of the base. These included the operation of the heavy rail guns, and in order to help her carry the ammo for the guns and to make sure she could load them by herself, she was granted one of the 5 symbiotes that were forcibly spawned from Venom, and then sealed back into cases, which the scientists were painfully doing experiments on to study them to see what they could do. Agony then was used as part of an elite mercenary operation to ensure the safety of everyone that was enslaved by the symbiotes. Each and every time a mission was done, the symbiote was forcibly separated from their host behind the scenes. She, along with their siblings, were rendered catatonic as a result of the trauma due to this separation and kept in glass tubes before being needed again. And each symbiote was trained to perform a single task and kept well leashed until one day they all broke free. Agony did team up with her symbiotic siblings to kidnap Venom to force him to teach them how to control their symbiotes. And when he would not help them, she and the symbiotes decided to merge together to form a new hybrid in order to stop the coming of Null. But once the invasion by Null had started and the hybrid was not able to stop him, she broke free of her own and was more than happy to develop a habit of collecting human body parts off hapless humans and using them as decorations. Agony is the most severe, physically loving to make pain or discomfort. Their host is the most trapped, lacking the control over the alien inside her, keeps her in a resulting form of violence. She really knows what's going on, and the few times that she is able to break free, they are horrified at what they are doing, and feel true pain as they thought that this symbiote was going to do something good with her life and actually help people. Fortunately for the symbiote, they have all but crushed her voice. Agony is all the same powers as any other symbiote, but on top of this, they have been modified by the US government to give her user added muscular growth in order to further bolster her physical strength, enabling her to use and carry around heavy-duty ordnances normally found on a military base. And she can also use her metabolism to absorb and redistribute dangerous chemicals and to spit this acid, which can burn through most substances. Agony was the symbiote that decided to merge together with others to form a new hybrid in hopes to try to not lose the day. This is represented in Marvel Snap by the fact that whenever the next character comes to her location, she will merge with them to try to help you not lose this day. So in Marvel Snap, this is a 1 cost 2 power character with the description of after you play a card here, this merges with it. If I'm reading this card correctly and if I'm looking at this card correctly, this is going to be a 1-star card. Now I will give a caveat at the end. I have not at this point unlocked Agony, but I've also not seen anybody play Agony, which might be a hint that this card's not that great. So let me go over everything I think works about her, and why she gets a 1 star because of this. and how my logic works. And at the very end, I'll go over what might be her power, and if that is, then she truly is a powerful card with a very big downside. So from what I'm looking at, from what I'm seeing, from what I've been reading, from what I've been going through on all the different websites that I can find and all the different research that I can do, this is just a Hulkbuster, but backwards. You play this card down, and the next card that you play on this gets merged with it, and it's still that card. So if you were to put a Blue Marvel down on this, it becomes a Blue Marvel. It just gets the +2 power to it. Now, the problem with that is if that's the way it works, I don't see too many cards that are worth playing this on. Just as a power spike, it's the same power spike as Howard the Duck. It's almost doing as good as Howard the Duck. Now, there are ways that you can set it up and get some extra power off of this, where you can basically set up like a Forge, so you can play a Forge not on her location. You can play her down, play a Forge not on her location, and then play a card on top of her location and get +2 for going on to her, and +2 for going on to the Forge. The problem that I see with that is, what card are you trying to hit with that? Are you trying to go with the Iron Man to get that +4 power? There's easier ways to get Iron Man +4 power than to doing all that trick. If you're trying to do it on the Brood, which would make the most sense out of this, the problem that I see with the Brood is if it is coded the way I think it's coded, the Brood's going to show up, do its Broodlings, and then get merged. Now, if it gets merged and then becomes the Brood and the Broodlings, that's awesome. But I think it's going to happen the other way around. Brood's going to come down, do its trick, and then get merged. The other problem I have with it is Killmonger. As long as this is on the board, until it merges, it's going to be able and be a target of a Killmonger. When I'm going through this card and I'm looking at stuff, I can't think of too many things that this works with. The best card that I could come up with would be something like Daken, where you're making it a 3/6, which will become a 3/12 when it's discarded. So if you also can put the Forge behind this, that's pretty nice. That's a 3/8. That's a 3/16 if you can pull that trick off. But are you going to go that route? Is that the only place it belongs? The other one that I can see this working with is Black Panther. But again, the problem I have with Black Panther is I believe that the Black Panther will go to the 10 and then get the 2, instead of going to the 7 and then becoming the 14. One of the cards that might work with this is the move card of Dagger. Dagger really doesn't have a good 1-drop per se. You can do the Arana if you want to, but if you're not finding the Arana, putting the Agony down and then putting Dagger right on top of it to make a Dagger 2/2 to start with isn't the end of the world. Same thing that might happen with Deadpool, but again, Deadpool actually has the opposite problem. You want to play Deadpool on 1. So, I'm not sure if you have a turn where you want to slide this into a Deadpool deck. That's a better option than to just put a Hulkbuster in here. Maybe it's just a redundancy in that, but is that worth it? So that's the problem that I'm really having with this card. One of the cards that I can see it maybe working with is Kitty Pryde, because again, you play Kitty Pryde down on 1, you play the Agony down, and then you play Kitty Pryde on 2. Is that worth it? Again, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. It's just I don't see it as the spike that it should be. So from all in all, everything I'm kind of looking at on this card, I can't see a card that really makes you say, hey, Agony is a great card to play. Now, because of the fact that high voltage is pretty much an auto-win situation, I don't think you'll be upset with this card. By the way, if you're looking for the deck to play high voltage, play any deck that you want to. As long as you get the quest done and you do the quest every time they refresh, you'll have more than enough volts to get the card by the end. You'll get it way before and I think you'll get it somewhere like this Saturday, Sunday if you do it correctly. So don't worry about what's going in there and what's going off high voltage. Oh yeah, you can get everything for free for high voltage. No, no, no. I mean, yeah, if you want to pay the gold for it, you're more than welcome to pay the gold for it. It's just that there's absolutely no reason to pay the gold for it. If all you do is the quest and do nothing else but the quest, you'll have plenty of volts to get her by the end. In fact, if I did my math correctly, it's somewhere around Saturday that you'll get her, Saturday, Sunday-ish. And if you are getting close to her going out of the realm, you can just go pay the gold at the very end and see what's going on. If you hit everything by Saturday, and that's what I basically said, every quest you should get her somewhere around Saturday, if I did my math right. Now, there are a few quests in there that I wish they would change. I don't like the win at 3 locations. And I don't like the one where you have to get 20 in a turn. Other than that, I wish they would put 6 quests that you could get in there and let you get up to 6. Oh yeah, and win all 3. Yeah. There's other ways that you can do it. I just wish that wasn't a quest in there. I honestly think that's a bad quest to have in there. Because for the people who are newer players, earlier players who really need this Agony card, they might not be able to win all 3 locations. But the rest of the quests in there are easy quests to do. They're play 4 drops, play 5 drops, play 6 drops, pay 20 energy, 30 energy. Yeah, and that's my problem, is that if they got rid of that quest, or let you do a reroll, a couple rerolls along the way, that would be fine, or if they just let you stack up to 6, so that way you didn't have to be up every 8 hours to make sure you're doing these quests, and making sure that you can actually, like, sleep at some point and get a full 8 hours in and not worry about it. That is the 2 things that I would correct this game. Other than that, I love this mode. I'm actually very happy with this mode. Because the greatest thing about this mode is simply the fact that there is no punishment for losing. There is no way to be sad that you lost a game. There's no reason to concede because you lose nothing from losing the game. The most you win is 20 volts. There's no point in trying to grind out the volts. You can if you want to, but there's not really a point in grinding out the volts, in my opinion. But if you want to do it, more power to you. Go grind out the volts. Please do. I'm not going to. But it's so nice to have a mode where everybody gets the reward if they just put forth some effort. All they have to do is fix the one where you have to win 3 locations. Maybe look at the one where you have to get 20 energy in a turn, because that one's too RNG dependent. And other than that, maybe let a reroll in there, or let it so that you can have 6 quests stacked up. So you don't have to be awake every 8 hours to make sure that you're taking care of these quests. Awesome. I'm so glad that you got the scoring. I actually got scoring yesterday. And I'll be glad to talk with you about it in a second. I just want to finish this recording. So everybody who watched to see what the deal was with Agony, I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.